You know, God gives us promises. He gives us promises in His Word. He gives us promises that He's going to work through simple means to accomplish miracles. And another promise that He gives to us is that His Word is spoken, and when His Word goes out, it will not return empty. So tonight, we're going to count on that promise. And we're going to go into a time where we're going to discover, and we're going to read, and we're going to meditate, and we're going to learn God's Word. So I believe He has a message to share with all of us tonight. You can grab a seat. I'm Ryan. If I haven't met you, or if you're here for the first time tonight, I'm so glad that you came to Outpost Maplewood. I hope that you would come to join us again in the future every Tuesday night. Every Tuesday night, we get a chance to celebrate how good God is, and to go to His Word, and to hear what He has to say to us every single Tuesday night. It's awesome. You know, it's so appropriate that Celeste was baptized tonight. We're in the middle of a series right now called Kids of the Bible, and we've been looking every single week at how God uses unlikely means. He uses people that are way too young, people that don't know how to talk very well, people, in fact, on the other end of the spectrum, people who are too old, people who may have physical disabilities, but He can use all sorts of people to accomplish what He wants to accomplish. Because He is God. He's the one who is able to do it. And so as we're in the middle of the series tonight, we're going to be looking at one particular story in the Old Testament of a very, very, very young king. A little older than Celeste. Not much, though. We're going to talk about King Josiah. He became king at the ripe old age of 8 years old. Any of you ever watch TV on Thursday nights? I know some... More people. No. Thursday night. It's like the most popular. Thank you. Yeah. It's the most popular night on television. Generally the most competitive night as well. You know, NBC really puts their star-studded lineup on Thursday nights, and for years, Fox TV has struggled to put some type of competitive show on Thursday nights. Well, the NCAA tournament started this past week, and again, they struggled to put something up, but this past week, they actually put up a show that did fairly well. It's a show that's been on for a while, but it recently changed nights. 7 o'clock on Fox, Thursday nights. Anybody know what it is? Who's smarter than a 5th grader? Are you smarter than a 5th grader? Are you? Are you? No? Okay, at least some of you are honest. Here's the thing about this game show. Adults play, but if they don't know the answer, they're asked a question that is 5th grade level or below, okay? Not above or below. And if an adult does not know the answer, they can look to a 5th grader to get a little bit of help, okay? Great show, great show. In fact, online at Fox.com, you can play an online version of the show. They'll ask you about 6 or 7 questions, and you just answer them, and then they tell you what grade level you're at based on your answers. Well, I call this message preparation. And so I went to Fox.com, and I played for a little bit, and I am proud to tell you, okay, and I challenge you to do the same, maybe when you get home tonight or tomorrow, at work, or somewhere else, okay? Go to Fox.com, play the game. I'm as smart as a... Nice! I am! Yes! I am as smart as a 4th grader. I didn't quite hit the 5th grader. I think I actually got 3 out of 6 or 7 right. Now, I qualify that by saying these are the kind of things like you would know if you were in school. You know what I mean? You know, what's this kind of animal? You know, things that 4th and 5th graders and 3rd graders and 1st or 2nd graders might talk about. Go play the game. You know, throughout the scriptures, like I said, God uses unlikely means, including children, to lead people, to lead adults back to His Word. And such is the case in the story of Josiah. Have you ever learned more from a kid than a kid learned from you? Maybe you were playing with a niece or a nephew, or maybe some of you have children. Amy, JP, I would imagine this is going to be true. Celeste is probably going to teach you just as much, if not more, than you might have a chance to teach her. Very good. See, there you go. 12 days old, right? She's 12 days old today. Yeah, 12 days old. She's probably taught you a lot. And I wonder if that isn't the case, why God would use kids, little kids, to teach us adults something. There's something about that. I want to go into our Bibles for a minute tonight. Would you grab a Bible? We have some Bible boxes around this room. If this is your first time here, we call them Bible boxes. We're just going to pass these Bibles around. If there's not enough for everyone, snuggle up to the person next to you. Put in a breath mint if you have to. And go to 2 Kings chapter 16. 2 Kings is a book of the Old Testament. Book of the Old Testament, right before like Psalms, Proverbs. If you hit Psalms or Proverbs, you've gone a little bit too far. Throw it in reverse. Go to 2 Kings chapter 16. You'll see like 1 Samuel, 2 Samuel, 1 Kings, 2 Kings. If you hit Chronicles, you've also gone a little bit too far. So go to 2 Kings, and we're going to start at chapter 16. This isn't the story of Josiah quite yet. But you see, in the Old Testament, there was a time where they started having kings. And the first king, anyone know the first king of the country of Israel, essentially? Saul, okay, followed by David, followed by this split, right? There was a split. There was a northern kingdom and a southern kingdom. The northern kingdom they called Israel. Southern kingdom they called Judah. And so Israel had this whole line of kings. Judah had this parallel line of kings. Here's the thing about the kings. Most of them weren't very good. In fact, the scriptures tell us that many of them did not walk in the ways of the Lord. They were turning to the left, they were turning to the right, but they were not following the straight line of the Lord that Yahweh had set in front of them. And so here we are in 2 Kings chapter 16. We're getting actually near the end of the reign of Israel, the northern kingdom. That's just kind of concluding. They're getting wiped out right now by the Assyrians, but Judah is still going strong. Well, I don't know if you'd say strong, but they're still going. And in 2 Kings chapter 16, verse 2, we read about this king. His name is Ahaz. Follow along with me. 16 verse 2, it says, Ahaz was how old? 20 years old when he became king, and he reigned in Jerusalem for 16 years. Unlike David his father, he did not do what was right in the eyes of the Lord his God. He walked in the ways of the kings of Israel, and he even, you read that? And he even sacrificed his own son in the fire. See, he was the one who was following these pagan rituals and all that he was doing. So Ahaz, the king, rules for 16 years. He eventually dies. Go to 2 Kings, flip a few chapters, 2 Kings chapter 18. 18 verse 2. We're going to look at the king who succeeded him. Okay, so chalk one up for the bad guys. Ahaz, bad column. 18 verse 2. Hezekiah was 25 years old when he became king, and he reigned in Jerusalem for how long? 29 years. It tells us his mother's name, and then in verse 3 it says, he did what was right. Chalk one up for the good guys. He did what was right in the eyes of the Lord, just as his father David had done. He removed the high places, smashed the sacred stones, and cut down the Asherah poles. Basically, everything that his dad had built up, he tore down. He was one who followed the path of the Lord. But Hezekiah's reign only lasted so long. He was succeeded by this guy named Manasseh. Flip a few more chapters. Go to 2 Kings chapter 21, verse 1. 2 Kings 21, verse 1. You got Hezekiah's son, Manasseh. Manasseh was how old? 12, almost a teenager. Sweet. There's a reason that presidents have to be 35 years old. Or older, okay? So Manasseh was 12 years old when he became king, and he reigned in Jerusalem for 55 years. He had the longest tenure out of any other king in Judah. His mother's name was Hephzibah. He did evil in the eyes of the Lord, following the detestable practices of the nations the Lord had driven out before the Israelites. Chalk another one up for the bad guys. But, in fact, the scriptures do tell us that later in life, he humbled himself before the Lord. So we'll kind of put him right in the middle. Manasseh reigned for 55 years. There was one who came after him. 2 Kings 21, verse 19. Son of Manasseh, Amon. Amon was 22 years old when he became king, and he reigned in Jerusalem 2 years. Didn't last very long. Why? Anyone know? Assassinated. Okay, king of Judah, Amon, was assassinated. So after only 2 years of reigning as king of Judah, he was assassinated. Enter Josiah.